Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday. I hope you had a super weekend. Now, today's show lines up three incredible women who have stepped into their greatness, who have done things that are incredible and are changing people's lives. You will meet someone who started an initiative, a life coach, and a woman who's revolutionizing how women interact with each other. But first, I have to tell you what our friends over at Mydawa have done. They have a coupon code for you. If you don't already use Mydawa for your health and wellness products, your pamper products, please just do yourself a favor. Download it on Google Play or just check them out on their website. That's www.mydawa.com. They have a 15% off coupon code. That's S15, should be on your screen right now, and you get 15% off your next purchase. Great thing is that delivery is free, and you know what? You don't have to leave your house and be stuck trying to go into the shops to get what you need. They bring it to your doorstep free of charge, and almost everything on their site is discounted. Well, not really everything, but a good chunk of products. And if you want a nice pamper session for yourself this evening, maybe you want to do your hair at home, you want to give yourself a face mask, cleanse, and do the whole, Korean step routine, check them out. They have all the products you need, and it's the authentic stuff. So you're welcome, ladies and gents. But for now, let's dive right into our ladies of today's show. Adele is in the building. Yay! I have been trying to get Adele for so long, but you're just busy, building initiatives, just living your best life, traveling the world.
I am. I'm not traveling the world as much as I want.
You did quite a bit though last year.
But it's also work. So you don't really get to see. Because so did you see the tourist stuff? And I'm just like, oh, where ya?
I was in the conference, okay, with world leaders. That's Adele. Hi.
How are you?
Good, thanks. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You launched something at the end of 2018.
Yeah.
That is the reason that we're here today. And actually earlier, before the show started, I was like, wait, Adele, how old are you?
Yeah.
She was like 30, almost 30. Almost 30.
In 2.5 weeks, February 5th, and I accept gifts.
Yeah.
So
February 5th, and I was like, wow. Before age 30, here you are with Adelle Onyango Initiative, AO Initiative. Yeah. Let's start with what is it before getting into it.
So the Adelle Onyango Initiative is an organization that really, in layman terms, houses all of the programs that have been in existence years before we actually launched it, so that people could understand what it is. Okay. And what the organization does is really just drive advocacy for marginalized groups like youth and women, right? And so what are the issues that affect them? And it's done in a really data-driven way. Okay. So for example, with the youth, under Team Adele, which was really created by my listeners over the radio shows. Yeah. I went out, I used to hang out with them, be in the WhatsApp group with them, and so I understood the issues that they had. And I remember once at one meetup, one of them telling me, this is somebody who was super active in, during the show and the topics and whatever, and he was like, yeah, I'm not in campus because, we don't have funds to take me to campus. And I was just like, what? And this is somebody who's giving you their time, and what are you doing to elevate them to the next level? And so for me, in terms of youth, what we did then is register all Team Adele members, because I was like, I need to understand them better. And that was 2017 when everybody was registering to vote. We were registering Team Adele members, and up to date we have just under 4,000 members. And then we had a brainstorm, because I think many people misunderstand young people. And how we misunderstand them is that we sit in boardrooms and we decide what the issues are.
Right, yeah. Let me tell you what your problem is.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is the solution. And so we had a brainstorm from the registered members. We had a controlled brainstorm to really understand what are your issues, what are the opportunities you wish you had, and how can we partner with you to bring them out. And that gave birth to the scholarship program that we have at Centonomy. It's been running since 2017, actually. And the job shadow program we have with Fuzu, to give young people a chance to come and shadow you or your producer, or, the guy who's doing sound or whatever. just for them to get an understanding of what that field is, maybe before they study it, or if you don't go to university, how can I give you some papers that are credible?
Okay.
So once you go through the job shadow program, you graduate, you get a certificate from the initiative, and you get a letter. So if I'm following you and shadowing you, you get a letter of recommendation from that organization. And so even if you don't have a degree per se or a diploma or whatever, you have these papers that do help you. And then this year we're going to launch the skill-based workshops where we will really try and give young people skills. So it doesn't matter your background, or maybe you're coming from a place that, you know, of low social economic level. It shouldn't stop you from being the great person that you are. So how do we come up with these things? It's really talking to young people and hearing their solutions and then amplifying them and scaling widely.
So I'm curious to know if growing up you were always this interested in the people around you and trying to see how to better that, or is that something that grew in you the older that you got and the more that you noticed what was going on? So
I think when I was growing up, like primary school, I was just like a businesswoman, man.
Tell me, what were some of the things you were doing?
I made bookmarks, or rather commissioned one of my friends who's better at like drawing and stuff.
You were another level business person. You weren't making them. I was like, you were the
So
businessman, a woman rather.
Yeah, so she would make them for me. Shout out Angela. She would make them, and I would sell them. And if you are grown up and you come to me with no change, you're not getting change from me. If you give me 100 bob, I'll just count that as a donation to my business.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So primary school, I was really into like business, and I think even up to university I was. But my mom, I think, or my late mom, is the reason why I'm very empathetic. I will really try and understand what it is you're going through and try and figure out how can we be okay, knowing that another human being who could very well be you doesn't have A, B, C, D.
And is it because she taught you that, or is it her passing that awakened that side of you?
I think she showed me. I'm not a parent, but I think kids learn from what you show them, right? And so my mom battled breast cancer from when I was 9 years old to when I was 23. And she would house breast cancer survivors or patients in our house who have come from other counties to get medication here. Because all they had was the money for the medication. Yeah.
No, I totally, that explains it.
So
it shows why you are the woman you are.
If that becomes my normal, then
you end up living it. You end up starting AO Initiative. So I know that there's actually 3 pillars, and you touched on one being the youth aspect, but there's also gender, the women, and also I think mental health, isn't it? So can you tell us a little bit about why those other 2 pillars are meaningful for you?
I think women naturally biased, but I also feel like we are marginalized still in 2019, which is so strange to me. We still have to defend our rights. First, I'm very passionate about gender-based violence and rape because I am a survivor of rape. And I feel like it's very unfair that once a woman comes out with her story, she has to, this is the warped side, we have to defend our right to be a victim just so that we can get some sort of justice. That is very strange for me to even still be speaking about in 2019. And so for me, I think a lot of solutions come from conversations, right? And I'm very clear that women are not the problem. We are not the problem, right? And when you start having conversations of, but why were you at, and why were you wearing, and you know, and who is this guy? Exactly. Then that's problematic because it then deflects from the real issue. How are we raising our men, right? How are we raising our boys? There is a problem in that space. And can we get to the root of that problem via conversations? I think we can. And can we at the same time advocate for certain, not policy change, because I think as a country we do have really good policies. I mean, look at the 2/3 gender rule, right? It's there, but it's ignored. So it's not in terms of policy change, it's also implementation. And all of these start with conversations, because some of these things, not only women, but the entire society do not know are happening. Or you do not know that, let's say in Kakamega, there's a group called Groots, and okay, they're countrywide, but in Kakamega what they're doing is working with grassroots level women to try and advocate for gender equity. And they're not only made up of women, there's men inside there, including the chief, right?
Yeah.
And those stories have got to be told, and we, through the initiative, are telling them not only so that we can show that men can be part of the solution, but wherever you are, if you feel a bit overwhelmed by this whole conversations, you can be like, oh, there's a solution that's happening in Kakamega. Maybe me in Ugenya, we can, how can we start, going that route? Can we implement those same solutions?
And what about mental health?
And mental health is the same. So one thing that I'm so glad that we did in 2018 under the initiative is, so we're really big on storytelling, because I think Africa has got to start telling its own stories the way we want them told, and as diverse as they are. Yeah. Because even now, it just feels like there's like a one linear African narrative. So with mental health, it's also to document the lives of people who are facing certain mental health conditions. Okay. So we teamed up with Silayo, who's a musician from right here in Kenya, and she, spoke about her journey battling depression. And she not only talks about the downside about things, but she talked about the things that she actually implements to help her handle her condition, from her diet to exercising to her mind. And when we shared that story, there were very many people in the comments. I think it took me like a week to be able to respond to them, because they were quite heavy, of people saying, I didn't know this is what it is, because I feel it, but I didn't know
that you could name it.
Yeah, I didn't know what this is, and we as Kenyans, let me not extend it to Africans, but as Kenyans, we don't talk about mental health conditions. We don't, the number of people who have been arrested committing crimes because of mental health condition. When we look at our military or our police, do they actually get some sort of rehabilitation for post-traumatic stress? No. Why? Because we don't know. We don't have those conversations around it.
As basic, like most insurance companies don't offer some kind of mental, like therapy as part of the package.
Exactly.
As it is. But I think slowly, by through initiatives like yours and just having the conversation more and more, people are just learning to release it of this great big dark cloud that it seems to be on, and just be like, hey, no, it's something that anyone goes through. Most people have experienced some kind of mental something that just steered them away from who they really are, and they could have used some kind of therapeutic help.
Exactly. So the initiative is really looking at to tackle these three pillars in three ways, which is our programs, so the stuff that we have in terms of opportunities for the youth, and storytelling, and also we have a lot of CSR. So I think there needs to be like we need to look out for each other. We've gotten, and I guess it's like the world has made us very individualistic, where you're just focused on only your problems. Exactly. And sometimes our issues are shared, and sometimes I could have the solution to your problem. So how do we start cultivating that culture of, look out for the person, in your community, in your hood.
From it. Yeah. So I want to know why the tagline Unapologetically African. I mean, I think it's quite obvious. If you've met Adele, you will know. But why is that important to you?
I think it's important to me because that's my identity. You know what I mean? And that's my identity, and I'm very comfortable in it. But also, we are moving into, we are in a world, not even moving into a world, we are in a world where we get a lot of influences from other quotas, even in terms of our problems and how we should look and who we are and how we speak and whatever. And what our story is, and is our story valid as it is? Are we too traditional? I don't even know what too traditional is, but are we too traditional? Why do we always have to be modern? Who are we as Africans? And after being Africans, who are we as Kenyans, right? And I think that tag is important to the initiative, because in finding solutions and in having these conversations, you have to be very aware of your identity, right? And some of the things that are wrong, some things that happen, maybe are linked to our culture. And we have to address that. But nobody from outside is going to understand our culture more than we do, right? And some things to people outside might look wrong, right? Some things to from people outside might look wrong, but it's traditional and it works for our environment and it's okay, right? The way it is. And some things are not. But only we can have those conversations. And in order to unlock those solutions, in order to unlock our identity, we have to be unapologetically African. Like there's no...
Man, I just like, thank you, Adele. Yes. Preach. Now, how can people watching be a part of this?
So for the young at heart, no, not young. If you want to join Team Adele, so there's two things that we're calling out for. If you want to join Team Adele, all you have to do is go to adelleonyango.com. There's a Join Team Adele tab, and you just hit it, and it helped me understand you a bit better. So there's a form that you have to fill. Just let me know, to tell me who you are, where you are in Kenya, because we really want to scale outwards this time, moving out of Nairobi only and try and catch young people outside of Nairobi. So you just fill in the form, and once you hit that send button, you're automatically part of Team Adele, and we communicate to you via email, and we're going to add other communication channels and like a community platform for Team Adele members later on this year. And to other people who maybe are interested in the skill-based workshops or in maybe being a mentor at one of the workshops, we are absolutely open to that. Or maybe you have a story that you feel like my story could help the next person or whatever. Still on the website, there's a contact tab. And you can just send us an email, and we will definitely reach out to you, because I think it has to be like a combined effort.
Right, again, it goes back to you can't tell someone what their problem is. You have to ask them and be willing to listen.
Exactly. And listen and let us share our stories, because our stories are very African, but they're also very valid and necessary. And I think for such a long time we've been told we are not worthy, we are not necessary as we are, unless we add or unless we subtract. But the way we are worthy as is.
Yes. Amen. Adele. Like half the time I just want to be like, amen. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Team Adele, hashtag Team Adele if you want to join the conversation online. Sure,
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And congratulations as
Thank you.
This is such a big project, and for you to be doing it so young and to want to try and inspire and uplift as many people as you possibly can as you move along your journey and your brand is worthy of like stopping to say thank you. So thank you to Adele, and happy early birthday.
Yay!
Team 30. We're both turning 30 this year. We've got to take a quick break, but we'll be back with a few other amazing people doing amazing things. So don't go anywhere.